Don't know if you heard that. Frogs over there. I was watching a YouTube video a while back about animals stuck in amber, and apparently the frog has been around since the Cretaceous era, which is a very, very long time ago. I just found it a beautiful thing with this. And they were small back then too, apparently. The ones stuck in amber at least. And it's been there for millions and millions of years. And now this primordial animal is in my swimming pool. Well, truth be told, it sounds more like it looks more than some primordial mud pool too now. At least that explains why it feels at home. It's been a while since I made one of these. It's because I've actually been quite busy with all of this here and there. You wouldn't say it looking at it from this, but it was more work than you would think. Maybe some fellow gardeners understand. When I was still living in our old town, we could look down on a on a field like this, which was kept much tidier. This one was way less wild, so it stood out against the backdrop of the hills and the forest. And we could often see this old man just sitting there on a chair, like I'm sitting on one right now, just one of those white plastic garden chairs. And we could see him there all day, especially when in spring and early summer. He often had lunch there because he had a little shack there, and smoke and smells came out of it. We probably cooked on natural wood stove. And I always thought, when I looked down at that man, how wonderful that must be. He looked so happy, even in his chair, when we were looking down on him because our town was up and the field was down. He looked so content. And before it got really hot, he would work on his field, getting all the weeds down, tending to his plants. And then he would sit and look. And I get that now. I really do, because I'm doing the exact same thing. And it struck me just a few days ago that I pulled up a chair here and sat on it. And all of a sudden I was transported back to our old town while I was standing on our balcony, our very tiny balcony, looking down at the valley, looking at that old man. And now I'm here, doing the exact same thing, what he did, that seemed so wonderful and peaceful to me. The true bucolic life. Charming. And I remember, because we didn't have a field or even a small garden, and we could use other people's field, which was very generous and kind of them. But we still had to travel quite a bit, sometimes even by car, because it would just be too far to reach otherwise. And now I just have to walk around the corner and I'm there. I missed it. I missed having a garden. But, excuse me. But I guess I didn't really realize how much I missed it. Just being able to walk outside and there you are in the green. Because that certainly was not the case in our old town. It was one of those medieval Italian hill towns, while very charming and beautiful to live in, very peculiar and isolated, quiet, with salt of the earth rural folk, which are very funny to be around. I just never realized how much I actually missed having a garden, because I did have one in Belgium. And I loved that garden so much. I cried when I had to leave it behind. That hurt more than anything else. I didn't care about the country. I didn't really care about the people in that sense who I was leaving behind. Lots of the people that I knew back then were not, lots of them were people that I knew from work, work that I couldn't wait to give up. I did not want to be in that line of work, that lifestyle anymore. And now I'm here. And I thought, since we're here, to give maybe a little bit of a tour of well, what I have been doing here. These, I have no idea. I forgot to label them. Maybe some fellow gardeners can help me out here. It is either squash, pumpkin, or zucchini. I am thinking it's either squash or pumpkin. I'm just not sure. I really don't know. In any case, I mean, it doesn't really matter. If it's a pumpkin, it doesn't really need this too much. Well, it depends. It depends. You can leave them on the ground, but they will spread out, and they have some room to do that. If it's a zucchini, it's best that that you tie it up a little bit, because I've seen it with our other attempts at zucchini. They grow wild. They really do, more so than pumpkins, I have the impression. And these are growing very fast. Very, very fast. So which is a characteristic of squash. So these are tomatoes, tomato plants, heirlooms. I raised them from seeds, and they should make those oblong ones that are very good to make passata with. My cacciofi, or artichoke. And this is, yeah, again, either pumpkin, zucchini, or squash. I don't remember. This is something that I don't know the name of in English, nor Dutch for that matter. But in Italian it's costa or bietola, which is a leafy green, which you can fry up much like chicoria, like I posted in the recipes. I know I haven't been posting recipes because I've been really busy. We have some wild peas growing here. They're fodder peas, but they can either go in the compost or, well, you can actually eat them. They're just not as tasty, but you can eat them. And we have quite a few growing around here. I had major problems with aphids, plant lice, and there's still some there, but I found a very good solution for it. Dishwashing soap. So just a spray bottle, as a Mr. Clean bottle, an empty one. You wash it out. You put some dishwashing soap in there with water, and I used quite a bit of soap. Shake it until it's dissolved, and then you can spray it on the plant lice, and it's very, very effective. And if you're looking for plant lice, it is best to look for ant activity. I don't know if you can see it, but there's ant activity on this one here. That's always a good indicator that there's lice or aphids on there. My Laurus nobilis, or laurel leaf. Oh, whoever the person was that said the stones will come to you when I was wondering whether I was going to take down that little wall or not. You were right. I forgot your name. And I forgot which video it was that it was mentioned in the comments, but you were right. We did find a lot more stones. It's not finished yet, but obviously I have more stones. I will make it. And there's already plants growing around it, which is really nice. I very much like that look of the old stones and the plants going in between. Here are some of our wild asparagus. It's way too late for them now, but tasty, tasty stuff. I found another cherry tree, actually. I didn't know it was here. I only noticed when I started seeing the leaves come out. And then the cherries, of course. I already picked the ones from this one with my son, but... Oh, there's one. There's one. It didn't get too much sun, and I had to cut away some small trees around it because it just wasn't getting enough light, getting cramped, and that probably contributed to it not yielding too much this year. Pink sorrel, you can eat it. It's just not terribly tasty. My nasturtium. The hazelnut. I found more hazelnuts at the back. I haven't really checked how many. Oh, well, the first. I haven't much checked how many nuts are growing on them yet. Yeah, at least the vines aren't growing back. Well, I cleaned. When they were starting to turn brown, I took out all these ferns. They all grew back. It's a huge forest here right now. There's some cool things I found here. This is a pear tree. There should be an apple tree here too. And where is it? Peaches. Or a perzik. I can't recall. And the best part, wild strawberries. They're definitely wild because they don't get a lot of light here, but yeah, look, you can see they're very small. Oh, another one here. Yeah, they're tiny, but they're quite tasty. Not bad at all. Another hazelnut. Mother hazelnut. A pear. Another cherry tree there. That one needs some help, which I'll get to next spring. Apples. Here. And the kaki tree. Magnificent, beautiful kaki tree. We also have grapes growing, just not here right now. Oh, I kept this one to remind me how difficult it is to get a cluster like this out of the ground. It looks easy, but it's not. Oh my goodness, this was difficult because I spitted and plowed this whole field. Okay, it's a small patch here, but I also did that one before. And it did not give me as much trouble as this thing. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I think it is because the roots here are clustered so tight. And also if you hit it wrong, Here, this is wood, or feels like soft wood. It's very difficult to get through, and it's just one giant cluster of grass. Oh my goodness. So yeah, that was just a small update. Well, update. I know I posted a short a while back about the little altar to Freyr, Ingwas. And it's there if you can spot it somewhere, but it is there. And soon on the Rune Shack, I'm going to write about it before the end of this month, together with the Galdar and Stada article. So there's 2 articles coming before the end of the month. And in one of them I will explain in more detail which runes I used, because the ones that I showed in the short are not the only ones that I used. I made a bit of an artwork of it as well, and I will show that with pictures and some written words. And I think that's all that I really have to say for now. I've been giving some more thoughts about which part of the garden I want to have effigies and remembrances of which gods. Nothing says that it only has to be in the backyard or a little field. Could be part of the front yard as well. In fact, that is the thumbnail for this video. Is actually something that I made. It was a little pagoda, and none of us really liked the way it looked, so we decided to make a little hut with excess bamboo. Well, you can tell maybe by the shape of the window that it was me that did it. I don't have technical expertise, but I will fix that that window. It's an eyesore. But I'm still very proud of what I did. There's not completely finished yet, because I really had to get a move on with this if we wanted to have anything planted. All the bamboo there. I mean, it's all bamboo that I had to cut down myself. Then you have to remove all the side leaves and branches and cut it in equal size. It makes a hell of a mess. So it takes quite a bit of time. Just to cut all these at the right size and take them all down, because they're all fresh. That certainly took me a bit, well over an hour. Not 2 hours, because also have to keep in mind that it's pretty warm here already. We're close to 30 degrees Celsius, so you do need some... Oh, what was that? A big bug. Well, you do need to take enough water breaks. In any case, thank you so much for watching and listening. Mostly listening, I guess, and watching. But yeah, I really wanted to show what I've been doing here. I'm out here several times of the day, actually. I spend a lot of time in this garden. Sometimes I'm just sitting here like this. And I suppose I could be recording like I'm doing now. But very often I just want to sit here and watch and listen and just be here. In any case, that was it. Thanks so much for listening.